All right, we got Dave. We got Dave on the show. We just started kind of all over the place, but we did start with Riggs crying was pretty crazy. That was wild, right? I don't know how much we want to give away here, and because the pay-per-view is still for sale, but we're trying to touch on some things. Riggs crying was just nuts.
Yeah, I think you give it away. I mean, it is for sale through the end of the weekend. Shout out.
Your brain.
This is the new Dave. This is the new Dave Portnoy era because I was asleep. First of all I'd heard is we hadn't sold any ads, nothing. It was not sponsored. I went to bed at 10 p.m. At 10:10, I woke up. I texted Pete. I'm like, can we spin up like the pay-per-view for this thing? And he's like, yeah, no, we can do that easily. Shout out to everyone who bought it. We're probably going to land around like 50,000 pay-per-views. So instead of getting fucking smoked, we'll make good money. So thank you to everybody who bought it. Much appreciated. Riggs, Elio and I just flew from the show to Saratoga, and we were laughing about some of the moments. Riggs crying for accepting the crying award.
It's incredible. Can't script it.
Like, I think everyone in the audience thought it was a bit, right? For like the first.
Yep.
I was like, there's no way this dude is hysterically crying again.
Because he came in hot at first and was like, thanks for sucking Dave's dick so I don't have to. So I thought he was going to be jokey. And the next thing you know, he's crying.
Unbelievable.
Your reaction was great. You were literally like, what's going on here? You got some issues, dude.
like truly breaking down all over again, forgetting, like, somebody tell Riggs that was the joke award. Like, it's the same exact thing as like the cancer. This wasn't like a Purple Heart or a Medal of Honor. You won for like breaking down, crying, leaving Pinehurst, and then you cried receiving that award.
We should have had like another award immediately for another emotional moment.
Yeah. Your most emotional moment.
Yeah.
That was
crazy.
That was special.
The overall night was like very Barstool, I thought, because it was brutal. Like, I love the dog. Finally, what I've been begging him to. That's Nate at night. Like, that is what
you want to get him in here.
He'll probably, yeah. I mean, if you want.
Well, you know what? Let's just go. You continue with kind of your overall thoughts, and then we'll bring Nate in.
So he was great, brutal. I thought Francis, his monologue, that joke, on so many different levels, like, is one of the best jokes ever told. Probably when he's like, yeah, Dave sold the company for $400 million, got it back for $1. I texted him like, congrats. Smitty texted him Jew. Like
that was a Sass
original.
Sass wrote that one for Francis.
I think that kills him deep down. That it killed so well that he had to give Sass the credit.
Well, it not only kills, it's like, it plays on an ongoing theme, and it also plays like, I'm a cheapskate, so I got it for like $1. Like, it worked on a million levels.
It's great.
It's credit to Sass if he wrote it. It's a brilliant joke. I thought the edit. I talked to Blattman this morning. I was mad about the first round of edits because I thought the whole show was going to suck because, like when we hired Brandon Walker, they don't put his original stream. To me, was nuts.
Yeah, the first package was a lot of like secondary moments for everyone who was in the rather than their big moments. It was like random
right.
Moments.
So I was watching that. I'm like, oh, we're fucked. That was really the only package. It was like that. But I will say, I almost felt like or maybe I do have like an enemy on Barstool in the editing because
hey, you got what you asked for. You wanted better clips.
They did me no favors with the way, like, they would end things with like, I'm accused of rape, and like, I don't give a fuck about you, Rhea. And it was like one thing after another. Like, at one point I was yelling at Rhea like, context from the side. When she was like, I'm too ugly to be up here, they said. It's like, no, but I was talking about Hank to begin with. That's like, I almost felt like I was protecting myself against a hit piece the whole night.
There was several times where, like, on the big screen through the speakers, rape was reverberating. It's like, Jesus Christ.
The second time we were like, all right, that might have been a mistake. And then the third, everyone kind of looked around and was like, wait, what the fuck is going on?
Kirk said it in his speech. He was like, what other companies repeatedly have their founder accused of rape on the board?
And then turned to the crowd to applaud.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Like, I texted Blattman, I'm like, who on your team was doing that? And he wouldn't give me names. It's like, let me tell you this, Blattman, I'm getting rid of what we're doing. Like, I need accountability. I need names. Like, I don't want to hear, well, we got a bunch of people. Like, and Blattman's like, I don't know how we left that in there. It's like, you left it in there 10 times.
Yeah.
What do you mean? But overall, it was, I thought it was well done in a very, like, we're never going to be cute and cuddly, so it was a pretty good trip down memory lane.
Did you know how much they kept everybody in the dark for some reason? Or did you want that? Like,
no, I didn't know.
Because, like, the whole week leading up, all of us were like, what are we presenting? Who are the nominees? Like, you know, maybe you want to write some jokes or just know what your thing is going to be. And they were like, we're sworn to secrecy. And everybody was like, why the fuck does it matter?
Right, I think that's Dave Blattman.
Yeah, okay, because I wasn't sure if you thought that, because I was like, listen, if Dave wanted it that way, fine. But I'm pretty sure Dave's going to think it's stupid that nobody was prepared. We all could have, you know, at least maybe just be prepared for the moment. And instead it was like, I have no idea what's about to happen. None of us did.
Yeah, stupid. No. And again, I did say it during the thing. This came about, from what I gather, as really something Penn really, really wanted to do. And I was like, they're like, you're going to host it, Dave. It's like, fine, I'm fine with that. I'll come in and do it, obviously. But I wasn't really in the guts of anything else. And then really by the time we got the company back, if you look at our calendar, it's like all that shit was happening in the company. Then it was Rough and Rowdy. Then it was like a merch sale. Then it was like third in the line. And really, I didn't start like looking at the categories in even the pay-per-view till 24 to 48 hours, like before the thing was going down. Like originally, there was supposed to be 8 people on side stage, like Feidelberg and KFC, Dan, bunch of people. And then I'm like, looked at the list. I'm like, can we add 2 more? Because I thought Hank and originally I think I had Brianna. I'm like, well, Brianna hasn't been here as long as Rhea and Fran. And then I start going to my head, I don't want people to get mad, so let's just cut the entire fucking stage.
Which probably, I think having the setup of like a roast where you have a dais would have been cool, but I think it probably would have caused more problems than fun, because this place is pretty sensitive about that shit.
Exactly. So that's what I was like. Then I had it down to 3, or just me on stage and you and Dan. And then at the end, it was just, let's do it, just not overthink. I think we overthink a lot of things.
Well, in a way, having it just be a 24 to 48 hour thing is like, we don't ever plan for like weeks and weeks and months and polish it up. We just kind of go. So very fitting that the big award show is that way too.
Yeah, more things though, like that went through, like when we had the, you know, what was it? The closest near death, like Liz should have been on that list.
Yeah.
She wasn't. Jerry shit in his pants. So more people looking at the categories. It sounded like it was really Gaz and the editors, and then I got the list and I added a bunch more categories to try to make it.
You need everybody who like. There's a million things I forget that you'll remember, and vice versa. So like we probably could have all contributed to that if it was more of a, if we just planned.
Yeah, I don't know what the secrecy is.
It was crazy.
I have no idea what that was about.
Yeah, it was very strange.
What was going through your head while we thought the guy died?
Holy shit.
Yeah. It's probably, I was just like, oh, this is so typical us. I wasn't, like, that's a weird thing for, like, it was right when I was on the mic. So I was like, I didn't know what to do. It's like, for all the way they were acting, it looked, they were making it sound like.
Medic. Don't move him.
Yeah,
some shit-faced woman turned by the stage.
Don't move his spine.
Yeah,
I was thinking about how many, like, because we did a blackout show there, I don't know what year, 2012, something like that. And I was like, we did blackout shows for 4 years, praying no one died. And at the fucking black tie event, someone's gonna die, not at the Molly show. Like, this is because I thought the way people were yelling, I thought it was like an OD situation.
Yeah.
Then I heard the fucking the spine thing, and I was like, what the fuck?
You know what it was? The guy was drunk.
Shit-faced.
He was on two. He was trying to he had 2 chairs like this, and he was trying to balance on them, and he swung his legs back. One chair went under, and he just bashed his face.
I heard he hit his
he's a
chin and
drunk
went
guy.
down the stairs on his chin. I saw a picture of the blood, like a puddle of blood on the floor.
Yeah, he bled a
so
lot.
he definitely fucked his shit up, but he was fine. But
The Frank speech. I mean, I know you hate him, Kevin.
No, that was.
But
I mean, I hate him in terms of like the Mets and stuff. That moment was. I mean, that actually was. We don't do the touching, mushy shit. But when they put a little music on that and put it on the Barstool account, it was like. Yeah. I mean, it was like I settled as a court clerk, and now like I never give up. That was.
I don't know if it translated to video, but me and Nate had to move our chairs so Frank could get out of the pen when he got up. Frank was covered in a comical amount of hay. like as he was walking by me, I was like, he has so much hay on.
Dude, let's talk about the fat pen because
Oh my God.
that I would have bet.
That pen wasn't me.
I know I would have bet my life that was a Portnoy
I
decision.
asked you
Before
that on
the
the
show, I was talking to Gaz's dad, and Dave was like in my line of sight, and I could tell he was like I could just feel the energy from him. He was like excited to say something. And there was a lull in me and Mr. Golzinski talking, and Dave just leaned in and he goes, "You see the fat pen?"
I mean, I love it. But it was live events, Lisa.
Yo, that is. Listen, if I was one of the big boys, and the boss said I gotta sit in the fat pen, I'd be like, hey, listen, the boss wants what the boss wants. If fucking live event Lisa decided my fate that I was gonna get clowned in front of the whole world and have to sit alone in a bale of hay all night, I would be furious at her.
told them, or they just instinctually went?
Well, how do we narrow it down to
That's
3?
probably for me.
Let's be honest.
I think she told them. I got to be honest. It's for me in this new role. It's the perfect amount of initiative that I want. Like I don't, when you're in a mob, you don't want to be the guy who's tied. Like you don't want the hit to be tied to you, but you want the hit to happen. Like the fact that she did it. It's like, I didn't do that. I have nothing to do with that. But I'm very
plausible
happy with
deniability. Yeah.
Like, how dare they do a fat pen? Put them in there.
I did hear Frank yelling out some other names of people being like, "How come he's not here?
Oh.
How come he's not here?" Because to be honest, we could have had a section of.
I saw.
Did you guys see the clip of when it was Craziest Fan and Frank stood? It was like the classic award show. It's like, and the winner is, and Frank got up to accept and had to sit back down.
that was a big. I almost thought about adding my thing was biggest controversy, and I was going to add that to the list because everybody thought Frank should have won that one.
Frankie is though an insane.
Dude, people forget that he didn't he go to one of the guys' lockers and take his socks?
Yeah.
Oh, that was the
Shoes? That's an all-time. The
confusion on his face.
All-time. That is so good.
Yeah, Frankie.
There's no one on. I picked Frankie, and probably because I've spent so much time with him. I've seen every day, like him pulling over the side of the road in like West Virginia for a preseason Islanders game. I've heard the stories. There's no doubt the Tank's a crazy Mets fan. There's also no doubt Frankie is every bit the Islanders fan that Tank is Mets.
I also think Tank is almost a victim of his own success, that he is now hamming it up for the cameras. Frankie Borelli could be at this company or he could be making pizzas and he'd be just as fucking crazy.
I do resent that, Kevin. I don't think that you gotta remember the Tank was eating fucking paper to himself with an audience.
Yeah.
Frankie, it gets very helped by the fact that golf exists.
Yeah.
Because you associate Frankie with something else.
Right.
If you broke Frankie's hand, he would just be an Islanders guy.
He
could never golf, never make a pizza. He'd just be an Islanders fucking.
That first video, fuck you, fuck you,
that night was
suck my dick. I mean, that was as aggressive as it gets. So
the guy said he never went to one of his school functions, like a prom, anything, because it was during hockey season. Like he would just skip. He was
It's not like
in
he had
the arena. Yeah, he was taking notes of the other team to himself and like skate around. He's a crazy person.
By the way, I don't think we mentioned this when we were talking about the guy who almost died. It was a funny moment next to our table. Pat Bev, who like nobody had more fun than Pat Bev. He was loving it.
Unbelievable
He
hype.
was in the mix. He was filming Roan. He was great. He was really, really like showing. Just had a great night.
He's what you want in a hire.
Yes,
He
yes.
showed that he's 100%
cares.
bought in.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
his after show. They just recorded a podcast on the stage right afterwards, and that's exactly what I said to him. Because there have been a few athletes who have come through and just kind of mailed it in and whatever, and he's like, no, I want this to work out. So, but that guy goes down and he stands up and he goes, people are dying. They're gonna blame the black people. Roan, we out. Let's go. Let's go.
I mean, I was one thing when Nate was going nuts and he started going down with his racial jokes, and Pat Bev has been with us for a half a minute. He's standing, just happens to be on stage 2 feet to his left, and you have no idea where the dog is going. The dog, he is just prowling around, biting anything he sees.
PFT said it best. They were like, Nate made Pat Beverly be the guy going, whoa, you need to calm down with what you're saying right now. You're a little too emotional right now. So let's get him in. Dog. Nate has his headphones on, pretending that he's not listening.
I like the bark. I gotta go anyways.
Okay.
I'm going to the track. But
Okay,
I want
cool.
to check in. You guys get the dog.
All right.
Thank you to everybody who bought the pay-per-view. It's worth $10 if you haven't seen it. It's on sale till the end of the weekend, then it's gone.
Thanks,
Forever.
Nate. See you later.
Yeah.